Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for coming to this presentation. I'm glad to see you all. Okay, let me introduce myself and my partner. I'm Elmawati.
I'm Danar Dono Saksongkojati.
I'm Cecilia Vikanti.
Okay, in this presentation, we will discuss that choosing and using visual aids. First, I will explain to you about choosing and use visual aids. Then I will explain why. Visual aids are an essential part of any presentation. The most common is the use of flip chart media and presentation software. Visual material is prepared in advance, and if it's well designed and thoroughly checked, it becomes an area of the presentation that the speaker does not have to worry about. And then assuming, of course, that the equipment is available and functioning property. There are other advantages from the speaker's point of view in using visual aids. More detail can be shown than could possibly be explained in words. Photographs, the picture, I will clarify aspect of the subject which couldn't be shown in any other way. And if a data projector is used, movement and sound can be included. So important for us. And then inappropriate visual aids. Okay, the inappropriate visual aids, are there any times when visual aids are not a good idea? Okay, the poor quality visuals are distancing and left down the whole occasion. If photographs or the picture and the slide by slide are under or overexposed and colors look in distinct or the print is too small, the visual aids, and then the slide by slide the color and then the beautiful side by side. Next, there any times when visual aids are good idea. For quality visual are distracting and left down the whole occasion. If the photograph are under or obscure, the color look in the stack or the print small. We will fall to make the right impact and will leave the audience wishing that that speaker had been more aware of the need. When to use a visual aid. About if and when to use a visual aid dependent to a certain extent the occasion and the content imposed by the situation. If you're reading a seminar paper for intent, you're likely to be sitting at a table surrounded by the group, and it might be quite difficult to leave your place and move on the overhead and then projector. If you're studying science and engineering, maybe you will be almost constantly, really heavily and visual aid, and you will be assessed and that as well on other aspects of your work. Okay, next, Cecil.
Okay, thanks Alma. Okay, so the next slide, we would like to tell you about designing a visual aid. Okay, so ideally, visual aids should be used to complement the speaker. So this not used to replace or to distract the speaker. So whatever the form of visual aid that you choose, you should remember that there is one overriding criterion that you should pay attention to, that everyone in the audience must be able to see everything you show. So you should remember this when you want to design your visual aid. Okay, so now we will discuss about this more deeper. So first, we would like to tell you about potential problems of words, and then we are going to tell you about punctuation, then color, and background. Okay, so the first one is font size and style. So for the best visual aid, it's important to consider the size and style of your font. Okay, in reality, most speaker is thinking about this. They are vary the size of the number of the audience or the size of the room when the speaker will be present their material. Okay, for example, when you present in a seminar room, you can use 20 point for the font size, but if you present in a large lecture theater, you should use 30 point or even bigger so that your everyone so that the everyone in your audience can easily see your screen. They can see everything you show. Okay, so how about the style? Actually, it depends to you. You can let your content to drive your design decisions. But remember that in a visual aid, you should use a simple one so that your audience can easier to see your slide. For example, you can use Arial style. Okay, that's about the font size and the style. So the next one, we're going to tell you about selecting the words. Remember that this is so important. Okay, here we would like to give you a tips. What should you do in selecting the words? Okay, first, don't use full sentences on the screen. Just put the bullet point, the point of your message that you want to convey to your audience. And second, never show a long paragraph of writing. Remember this? We just put the point, not a long paragraph. And third, show only what the audience can read easily. Remember that the first one I told you that the visual aid not used to replace or distract the speaker. So just put the point in a visual aid, not put the full sentences or long paragraph. Okay, so next is punctuation. Maybe not everyone know that in a visual aid, we not use punctuation. Why? Because we not put long sentences or paragraph in a visual aid. We just put the point, so we not use punctuation. Maybe we use it, but for the end of the sentence or for the questioning sentence, but we not use other punctuation. Okay, remember this, we not use punctuation in a visual aid. Okay, so the next one is color on the screen. Well, it's important to make a variation in the screen. Okay, so it's important to you for choice a color for your slide because this make your slide more interesting for your audience. Usually, the best colors for slides should have high contrast so they are easily seen. Okay, so the last one is backgrounds. Okay, so the last one is backgrounds. Here we would like to give you the tips what you should consider when you want to choose your backgrounds. Okay, first you can ask yourself when you choose the image, you can think it is support my story or it's support my material. Now you should consider this. For the example, you want to talk about the education, so you should choose a background that related to education. Not you choose a image that related to economic because it's not related with your material. Just choose the image that related your material. So the next one, you should keep your background simple. And then you should think about the color contrast so your audience can easily see the screen. And remember that you should pick high resolution image. And the last is consistency of your background is the key of your slide. Okay, so there are designing visual. You should pay attention to about the criterion that I told you before that everyone in the audience should be able to see your screen. Okay, so the next slide will be presented by Dana.
Okay, next. So this chapters is I'm going to presentation, but my material is a visual aid equipment. Nowadays, we are likely to use one or both of two types of visual aid equipment. Both of two types of visual equipment, there are a data projector operated from computer, often a laptop, through the projector itself into a screen, and the more old-fashioned overhead projector with access slides that we can produce by photocopying from a printed source or make by using PowerPoint or a similar package and printing into special acetate. Hand-drawn overhead slides are unlikely to be accountable. And next slide is I'm gonna talking about the overhead projector first. The overhead projector or OHP is the gold old-fashioned low technology standby among visual aid equipment. It has great advantage. It's easy to prepare the material and little can go wrong while we're using it. We may be familiar with the OHP from lectures as it's more flexible for teaching and training than the data projector, which is much more commonly used in presentation. And after that, there's a B, the data projector. In recent years, the data projector has outstripped its rivals and become the standard visual aid equipment in industry and commerce in the United Kingdom. It's also increasingly used in education, and it's a good idea to get used to it during our course so that we aren't suddenly faced with it at work when other people know how to use it and we don't it. And the next slide is the last. I'm going to explain this in this session. There are handout. We mentioned handouts earlier in the context of the failure of our computers generate material, but they are useful in their own right. The image on the screen may be forgotten, but the paper the audience takes away at the end remains with them and can be a constant reminder of what we said if our role is selling one. For instance, if we are a management student and we are introducing a possible career choice to our peers, or an engineering student selling advice that we and our group have decided and built. It's impressive to give our audience a handout showing the main attractions of the career and any possible context, or a photograph of our product with the key points of its specification and its benefits to the user. This will reinforce the impact of the presentation itself and ensure that the good impression we gave at time lasts beyond the duration of the talk. We may choose to pass around this handout before we start or at the end of our talk as a reminder of our main message. So that's all the matter and lessons today. This evening we have presentation, and we are very thank you to you all from this all around the world who see this video, and don't forget to contact us, one of three of us. Don't shy and don't embrace if you wanna to asking everything about this material that we have to present just now. And uh, God bless us, and God always loves us, and good evening all.